Hey everybody, how's it going? This is a two-stage video. It's going to be one video, but basically I'm going to do a bit of a ramble in the beginning, and at the end I'm going to go over how I make my Predator Terminators. Now, the reason for that is there's a post left on my channel comment, or a comment I should say, left on my channel comment section, where you just comment on the channel in general, not on a specific video. And the person asked how I build my Terminators, because I think you're doing a pre-heresy Death Guard army, which is very cool. And I thought I kind of touched on this in my videos, but not enough, and I didn't expect to wait a week until to talk about it, so I apologize there. So that's what I'm going to do at the end of this video, is go over briefly how I build the Terminators, because it's pretty simple. First, a little ramble. First and foremost, I have not forgotten about the Iron Knights and the Silver Skulls. I got a second Iron Knight. I don't remember if I showed you him or not, but here he is. He's a tactical marine. So we're getting there. He has his little shoulder shield, right? If it focuses, right there. So I haven't forgotten about that. That is coming along very slowly. Secondly, I was experimenting with the Angels of Fury. I colored his shoulder pad the same color as his armor. Originally it was the engine Dark Sun, and it just, I don't know, it looked, I like the color together with the color on the armor, but having it there with the red, it just started not being as appealing. It looked good, but it just reminded me of a rooster. So for some reason, I don't know why. So I put the armor color one color, as you saw. Problem is, I'm not doing that color scheme anymore. Not because I don't want it. I like the color scheme. I made the color. I like the color. I tested the color out. But in doing that, I had a little accident. Spilt the color. Not all of it. Most of it. And when I was cleaning it up, I thought I closed the lid. Funny story, I didn't. It was left open. So I cleaned up everything, and then I went about my business of doing other stuff throughout the day. And a while later, I came back, and the color was just like a mega sludge, like super tar. So I put a little bit of water in there so it doesn't fully dry out, sugar on a bit, but it's nothing. I feel like a drop in the hat. So the color's pretty much dead, and I don't want to go out and rebuy Blazing Orange and the other little minute colors to do it. I know the basic process is Blood Red and Blazing Orange with a drop or two of Chaos Black, but really, I don't want to invest all that time, which it didn't take that long, but I want to invest the paint into it again. So for now, I'm not even going to try to resurrect the color, because I've resurrected colors like this before, and either they get very thick or super thin, depending on how much water you've used to get it back, to rehydrate it basically. And either way, it's not really that good. I mean, thinner I guess is better, but I don't like it too much when it takes forever to put a coat on the model. So I'm changing color schemes yet again. The original color scheme was Adeptus Battle Gray, and I like it. I like that. I like gunmetal and gray and all that. Problem is, it reminds me too much of pre-heresy Wordbearers, and or like a Space Shark type of model, and I don't want that type of confusion, considering there is no official color scheme. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Since there is no official color scheme, you can do whatever you want. But if for some reason in the future they were to get an official color scheme, that is the one, I guess, fear that anybody would have in trying to make up their own color scheme for a chapter that has no color scheme for it. A good example would be the Star Phantoms. The Star Phantoms, to my knowledge, have no official color scheme. I know Bill of Lost Souls, if anybody follows that, made a color scheme for them. But there is no official color scheme. And as you know, Imperial Armor 9, the Badav War one, is the start of covering all the forces involved. And I don't know how many volumes they plan to do for the Big War, but they're only going to. It sounds like 2 for now. Probably more. Actually, that's not true. It may just be 2. And one of the chapters I get to cover is the Star Phantom. So that right there will be covered, which means we will hopefully see a color scheme for them. Which means either they're quote unquote right, or close enough, or completely off base. Who knows? So we'll see. That's why I don't know what I'm going to do. And talking about that, while I thought up of a cool color scheme, it's been taken by the Fire Angels, who've gotten a facelift. This is the color scheme that they have now. Kind of like a metalish, grayish color with red trim, which is cool. They were originally bleach bone with the red trim. So, they got a facelift, just like the actual Claws did in that book, with a new scheme. And I like the scheme. The problem is that's the Fire Angel scheme now, so I don't know what to do. I have ways to make transfers for both the Fire Angels and Angels of Fury. Once I get the paper in. So, don't know what I'm going to do. I could just make a Fire Angel army. It would be the same army list either way. So, we'll see. I'm thinking I like metallic colors, so I want to do a metallic army. I don't want to do an Iron Ice or a Silver Skull that big. We want to keep it on where they are. But I do want to do a metallic army, so I don't know. If you have any input, feel free to PM me or make a comment. If I should go with the Fire Angel scheme, which looks cool enough to me, or if I should try and push forth with my Angels of Fury. I was thinking Fortress Grey, but I don't know how it's going to look, and I don't want it to be just pure Fortress Grey. I would like some type of accent color there. I don't know what would go well with it that isn't already taken, like the red, for example. Not that it's taken, I can still do it, but it may look too similar. And I don't want to do green as an accent color, or blue. I want it to be kind of furious, like a cold fury, which is why the gray works very well, or a metallic silver works very well. But the accent color will have to be kind of fiery and furious, if you will. And green and blues don't really do that type of analogy very well. So if not Fortress Grey, then I'm thinking like a bulk on metal, even like a Mythos Silver, like a bulk on metal wash and then a dry brush of Mythos Silver over the entire model will look pretty cool. I'm leaning towards that, but I don't want to just accent it red because then it looks too Fire Angel-y. So I may end up doing like that anyway, with maybe like a red backpack to contradict it. Assuming that isn't taken already, but I don't think it isn't. You know, who cares at that point? As long as it's not like officially recognized chapter. Not that it really matters again, but I like to keep it separate. Like if one chapter has a color scheme, I don't want to just copy it for another chapter. So anyway, that's a long enough ramble for that. And I'll go on. I'm going to do another video, probably right after this one, on why I want to make an army list for the Space Marine Codex. Even though I'm a big Dark Angel fan, and I'm going to be focusing a lot more on the Dark Angels army. I'm not going to rush to try and get the other armies out. And I'll talk more on that in another video. But I've rambled on way too long. How do I make these Terminators? It's pretty simple. You take whatever Terminator body you want. You got to utilize the legs and the body from any kit you want. Be it the Chaos Kit, as long as it fits in with what you want, or you're going to trim it, or you're going to sand it down like you want. Space Marine Kit, or the Space Wolf Kit. And I leave on, well, these aren't a good example, but I don't trim off any of the, or shave off any of the crux terminalis on the leg or anything like that. Some people do. I don't trim off the stuff on the leg, the crux terminalis symbol or any other symbol on there, because there's no reason why that couldn't have been some type of designation of rank or something within the chapter or in the Legion before getting the official crux terminalis with a piece of the Emperor's armor in it. That's just something I always thought. That's why, and also it's easier for me to just leave it there. That's why I make up that excuse. So, you just need the legs and the body for that, and of course the arms that you want to use. From there, you need some type of shoulder pad like the Max Mini ones here. I use Max Mini shoulder pads and heads here, but you can utilize Dreadnought leg plate armor, that works very well. Or you can utilize some type of like oil drum type of can, cut it in half, trim it down a bit to fit the shoulder pads, that will also work. Add some green stuff or some plastic card and embellishments and you're golden. If you even want to, you don't even have to. So that's the body, the legs, the shoulder pad. Now the head. I use Max Mini heads here. You could also file down and make it so it can fit into this Terminator opening. You could do that with Space Marine heads, like Crusader style helmets, Warriors of Chaos helmets, these Max Mini helmets. Or you can even take the Terminator helmets you have already and shave down the side sensor areas to make it look kind of like a knightly Crusader helm. And then drill a couple holes on one side to complete the illusion. That works, and I did that on my magnetized Belial model, which has a video up here somewhere on the channel. So you can do that for the head. With the one that requires you shave down a Terminator head is probably, I would say, the easiest once you get it down right, because you don't have to go out and buy any other bits or any other kits. Of course, bear heads will be fine as well. I'm just not a big fan of bear heads in Terminator armor, or in general, so I don't really utilize it, but you could very well. Now, the Terminator head entrance hole area is, being that the Terminator head is smaller, will be a little bit harder to fit a standard helmet in standardly. Yeah, I guess you have to do a little bit. You have to trim down the nubbing on the bottom, file it down a little bit to get it to fit in snugly, but it can fit. So that's how I do. So we got the body covered, basic body and legs, shoulder pads we covered, heads we covered. Weapons. Thunderhammer works fine. The Storm Shield can work. I subbed out the Storm Shield because I didn't want that big of a crux Terminator symbol, and I wanted something to kind of fit in with the lion theme for the Dark Angels. But you could just use regular Thunderhammer and Storm Shield combo. Lightning Claws are fine. The Assault Cannon is kind of in the fluff now. Towards the end of the Crusade, they got these rotary cannons, which are essentially assault cannons, so you could use that. Or you could just have the assault cannon there because it looks cool. Or you could sub it out for using the Reaper and use the Reaper autocannon, and just use the rules of the assault cannon if you're using the Space Marine Codex. That's up to you. Cycle missile launchers are fine. Power fists and power weapons are fine. The Storm Bolter, again, kind of something they came about towards the end of the Crusade. I just utilize regular Storm Bolter as you see here. Considering the Convict Bolter of the Chaos Terminators look almost exactly the same. You could go out of your way and cut off the Storm Bolter and put two bolters side by side to each other, or two bolt pistols if you want to keep it compact looking side by side. But again, that's more work than is really needed. You can be fine with just having the Storm Bolter as is. So that's a very quick rundown. If the person who made a comment on the channel would like it and more in depth, I can of course do a video dedicated to that, where I really cover every step a little more in detail. Or you can, or if anybody else, just leave a comment in this video about that. So hope you were able to bear my little ramble about the Angels of Fury and whatnot, and I hope this little quick blurb, which I did kind of breeze through a bit, was informative enough to get you on your road to making some pre-RC Terminators, and at least in the style that I make them. So anyways, that's pretty much it, and until next time, take it easy.